Special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this video possible. Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Cayde here bringing you another Minecraft Modern Warfare aircraft tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and building the Baykar Bayraktar Akıncı. The Akıncı is a high altitude, long range, endurance, or HAIL unmanned combat aerial vehicle known as a UCAV, being manufactured by the Turkish technology company Baykar. The first 3 units entered service with the Turkish Armed Forces on the 29th of August 2021. The aircraft has a 5.5 plus tons of maximum takeoff weight, while 1350 plus kilograms of this is composed by the payload. The Akıncı is equipped with 2 turboprop engines, which has 2 different types of thrust capabilities at 450 or 750 horsepower. The Akıncı is equipped with electronic support and countermeasure systems, dual satellite communication systems, and air-to-air radar, collision avoidance radar, and National Advanced Synthetic Aperture Radar. The drone itself is absolutely crazy. It's a really cool design, and when you look at it, it looks like a bird. It is super sleek and super streamlined. Getting it kind of perfect in Minecraft is a little difficult, and it's not perfect by any means, but I still think it came out relatively good for the really cool and organic shape that this aircraft does have. So pretty cool build, and our first ever Turkish Modern Warfare aircraft, so it's also nice to add them to our growing lineup of military builds. Before we go and jump into taking a look at this build, I do want to go and give a special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel more than you already do, feel free to check out my Patreon page. Link is always in my video description, where you can go and pledge a small amount to the channel every month, and in doing so earn a vehicle request you're choosing. It really helps support the work I do on my channel, and it's really greatly appreciated, so definitely feel free to check that out. Again, link is down in the video descriptions. With that though, let's go and dive in here to take a look at the Akıncı. So going ahead and getting started with, we have the main fuselage itself. It's a very interesting fuselage, kind of has a hump back and then it flows down like so. A very sleek looking fuselage and has a really nice kind of organic shapes to it. We obviously have a landed version available in this tutorial. You have the main camera on the bottom there, and obviously the landing gear deployed. For the in-flight version, obviously the landing gear does retract up into the aircraft. So you get a nice kind of clean underside here. Again, a good look at that camera there. We then have like the Turkish Air Force little roundels on the side there of the aircraft fuselage, and then we have the logos there on the vertical stabilizer, horizontal stabilizers of course, and the wings here are something that's going to be really unique. It's kind of like a reverse Corsair, I guess like the World War II fighter type wing design, where the wings actually go up and then they curve kind of down and then pop up again. Again, really looks like a bird from this front-on view, and really kind of what makes this drone look so cool, I guess. It's something super unique, and the design of it alone just really is kind of inspired by a bird, and I guess gives it probably really good glide capabilities, which is always great for a drone, being able to allow it to loiter longer in areas. So overall, really cool aircraft and a really cool drone, probably one of the cooler drones we've done on the channel so far. And really happy to see this added into our model world and onto the channel as a tutorial for all of you to enjoy. Anyways, though, without further ado, let's go ahead and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer, layer number 1. Alright guys, moving into our first layers here, we will be going ahead and starting off with layers 1 and 2 actually. Layer 1's pretty simple, it's really just adding some things onto the bottom of layer 2, so realistically it's pretty simple for us just to go ahead and combine these layers together. Before we go ahead and get started though, I want to go ahead and mention a quick few things. If you are completely new to my aircraft tutorials, the way I like to structure these tutorials, I like to do half on camera, half off. What this means is we're going to be building the entire centerline of the aircraft and then the right side. It'll then be up to you guys to take the right side and copy it over to the left side. This aircraft is symmetrical, so whatever we do on one side will be done on the other, so it makes it pretty easy for transferring things over. In addition, if you do want to build this aircraft landed, then that'll be an option to you guys in this tutorial. However, you do need to make sure that you basically build it correctly, and this is going to involve us putting the landing gear on at the end of the video once we have it built as a modification. So you will need to make sure that you build this the correct height. Now layer 2 here is this line of slabs, iron trapdoors, and all that, and this here sits quite a bit up off the ground. It's going to sit basically, you're going to go 1, 2, 3 blocks up from the ground, and then you're going to go ahead and start this layer 2 here. So just keep that in mind when we go ahead and get started building here. If you want to have it landed, you want to make sure you have that position correctly. Obviously if you have this in flight, not a big deal, just make sure you're not going to run into the block height limit or something like that. Anyways, let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to place down an iron trap door. Now this is going to be on like this top portion of the block here on the side, not like on top here, but like on the side like so. We're going to place down 3 stone top slabs back, then 4 iron trapdoors, 3 stone top slabs. Then if you're on Java and you're a Java player, we're going to place down a total of 2 pistons upside down. Now, if you're not on Java and you do not have access to a debug stick, we will be going ahead and using stone full blocks instead. However, for Java players, we can go ahead and use these pistons, and they're going to be a really nice technique for us to use to go ahead and get a really nice smooth transition here for the bottom of the aircraft. After that, though, we're going to then place down an anvil. And underneath this anvil, you will place down a light gray shulker box. So you'll probably want to go ahead and place down the light gray shulker box upside down and then that anvil. Now, coming off the gray shulker box forward, we're going to place down an item frame, a black bed in that item frame, and we also want to go ahead and, if you're on Java, we'll grab a birchwood sign and we'll place a birchwood sign on the side of the block. Just a little side note, Java players are able to place down an item frame and a sign in the same block space. So this is something we can do for Java players. Unfortunately, if you are not on Java, you will not be able to do this technique. So just keep that in mind going forward, but that's what you should have there. Then after that anvil, we're going to place down 3 more pistons or 3 stone full blocks, again, whichever you are placing, depending on your version. We're going to go then place down a stone upside down stair, a stone top slab, another stone upside down stair like so, and then 2 iron trapdoors back from that last stair like so. And that is going to make your center line there of the aircraft. Moving to the sides, we're going to go ahead and go to these 3 stone top slabs here in the front. We're going to place down 3 iron trapdoors to the side, and then we're going to go ahead and go back to our next set of stone top slabs. So these 2 here, we're going to place down 2 iron trapdoors, then 2 stone top slabs back. We're going to go ahead and switch back to our pistons, and we're going to place down our row 3 of upside down pistons. Again, stone full blocks will be your alternative if you do not have access to the debug stick, and then 2 stone top slabs back from that. After we have that all done, we're going to go ahead and move into our first kind of guided bomb or our first munitions here on the side. We're going to go ahead and go to this iron trapdoor here. We're going to build a block out to the side, and then we're going to build a polished andesite block. We can then delete this block here as we will not need it any further. We'll then place down 2 green terracotta blocks forward, as well as a polished andesite block here on the front, and we're going to go and follow this up with a skeleton skull on the very front here of this polished andesite block. Then going toward the rear, we're going to place down an andesite wall that goes back from this block of andesite, and then a skeleton skull. We'll also place down a birchwood sign on the side here of the wall to both sides like so. After that is complete, we're going to go then take our stone buttons. We're going to place down 2 stone buttons here on the sides, 2 over here, and 2 on the bottom. So just like that, wrapping around the sides there to go ahead and finish off this bomb here. And the very last thing for us to do is to go ahead and actually go underneath these iron trapdoors, and we're just going to place down an iron, or actually underneath those birchwood trapdoors or signs, and we're going to place down iron trapdoors like that. And then after we have that all done there, we're going to go ahead and then grab our blocks here again, so a block that we can tell apart from the aircraft. So for us, we'll just use some yellow concrete. We're going to build out 1, 2, 3 blocks to the side here. So again, from this polished andesite, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to place down 2 iron trapdoors, or rather, sorry, 1 iron trapdoor and 1 going forward. Then after that, we want to go ahead and then go back from this iron trapdoor, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to go out to the side, 1, 2. So again, we're going to go ahead and go back 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2 to the side, then an iron trapdoor, skip a space, and another iron trapdoor. We can then delete any of these blocks that we placed that are these yellow concrete or just the kind of blocks to tell apart and kind of build us out to the sides, as well as this row here. And once you have that all complete and done on the right side, you'll take the same design and copy it over to the left side. Looking at it from the top down view, this is what we should have with layers 1 and 2 complete for the build. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, layer number 3. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer 3. For layer 3, we're going to go ahead and start off by going ahead and placing down a stone block on top of this iron trapdoor here. Now right here again is going to depend on what version of Minecraft you're on. Again, Java players will place down a piston here, come off the side of this stone block like so. If you are not on Java, then a good alternative here to this piston would be to place down an andesite wall. But the piston here is going to be the better of the options, and we're going to have that position like so. From that, we're going to go ahead and go back with the light gray, or rather actually sorry, from the stone block rather, continue our center line, we're going to go ahead and build back an additional row of stone. So we have this first stone block, and we're going to go ahead and count back 1, and we should end with 18 blocks in total. So if we count the first one, we should have 19 stone blocks back from that piston, like so. It should end right on top of the stone top side that's in between these 2 upside down stairs. We're going to go then place down 2 more pistons right here. Again, for non-Java players, you can go ahead and just very simply place down 2 stone full blocks instead. And then we'll place down a row 3 of stone full blocks back from those pistons. After that, going to the side of the 3 stone blocks here, we're going to place down 3 iron trapdoors. Then a second row of 3 of iron trapdoors. Then we're going to place down 1, 2. Then another row of 3 like that. We're going to go then switch to stone slabs. We're going to place down 2 stone top slabs, followed by a second row of stone top slabs, 1 stone top slab here, 1 back, and then 2 to the side. So it should look like that, and taking a look at above there, that's going to be your horizontal stabilizers. With that done, we'll go ahead and go back up to the front and start working our way out to the sides here. We're going to place down a light gray stainless paint on the side of the stone block, a andesite wall back, followed by a coal ore block, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 stone blocks back. Or, yeah, stone blocks back like that. Then another stone block, and then another coal ore, followed by another stone block, red concrete, stone block, stone stair, and then 1 and 2 light gray stainless paints like that going back. And then we just want to place down a skeleton skull here on the side of this last piston, or that stone full block, whichever you have placed. Now, after that is done, we're going to go ahead and continue working our way out to the sides. We're going to go ahead and take our stone top slabs this time, and we're going to go ahead and go to the, should be the 1, 2, and then 3rd stone full block. Back from that coal ore block, we're going to place down a stone top slab to the side, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back from that. So you should have a total of 6 there. Continuing out to the side here, we're going to go ahead and grab our andesite walls, and we're going to go ahead and light gray stainless paint, and we're going to place it down on top of this first green terracotta block here, our glass pane, and then 2 andesite walls back for our pylons there for our little guided munitions here. We're also going to place down an iron trapdoor on top of this birchwood sign, so just like that. And that basically right there will complete our little pylon there. One thing we're also going to go ahead and cover here is we're going to go ahead and place down an item frame on the side here of this block, and we want to go ahead and then place down a white stainless pane in the item frame like so. And if you're on Java, we'll go ahead and go the extra mile by placing down a acacia wood button there in the center to go ahead and make that basically Turkish Air Force kind of roundel there. With that all done though, that is going to basically wrap up for the most part our fuselage, and we're going to kind of now swing our attention here to our wings, or rather I would say our attachments to the wings. We're going to go and start off by placing down a stone stair on top of this iron trapdoor, as well as an item frame coming off it going forward. In that item frame, we're going to grab a black bed. We're going to place down a black bed and rotate it sideways like so, so the bed's facing away from the fuselage, and that'll be the same for both sides there. We then want to go ahead and grab a birchwood sign, and we're going to place down a birchwood sign coming off the face here of the stair, and that will be done on both sides there. We're going to go ahead and also place down a skeleton skull on both sides of the stair like so. After that, going back from the stair, we're going to place down 1 and 2 more stone blocks, and then we'll take our light gray stainless panes and place down 2 less panes rather along the sides there of those stone blocks. In this space here, you can either place down an upside down stair, or for my Java players, we'll be going ahead and using our pistons again and placing down an upside down piston right there. On both sides of this block, we'll place down a skeleton skull, and then lastly, we're going to go ahead and grab a polished black stone slab and place down a top slab going back from that like so. After that is all done there, we're going to go ahead and set up our next guided bomb here, which is going to be located in this section right here. We're going to go ahead and go between these iron trapdoors. We're going to place down a wall that's above them and in between, and then a skeleton skull that goes back. We're going to go ahead and then go forward from this with our polished andesite, so 1 block, 2 green terracotta, and then another polished andesite block, followed by a skeleton skull. With that all done there, we're going to go ahead and basically do the same techniques we did before, taking our stone buttons and place them on the sides here of the green terracotta, as well as on the bottom and on this side as well. And that right there is going to make our next kind of guided bomb there on the outer line of the wing. Now, once we get to this point here, we will get into basically these smaller munitions, or these smaller kind of bombs, or I'm really not sure exactly what they are, but it does seem to be apparent on a lot of the loadouts, or at least the pictures for the loadouts for this aircraft, so we're going to be going ahead and putting these on here. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and basically skip a space over, and we're going to go and place down a birchwood fence gate. So we're going to have a fence gate here and a fence gate right there. Or rather, actually, we're going to leave a space of 1. So this first fence gate is going to come off the stone button. This next fence gate is going to have a space of 1 between it and the polished andesite block there. We're going to go ahead and open these fence gates toward the front, and we're going to place down a skeleton skull on the front of the fence gates. Now on the side of this fence gate here, we're going to place down a birchwood sign, and we're going to place it down on the one side there. And then we're going to go and then skip a space over, and we're going to go ahead and do basically the same thing here. So we're going to go ahead and skip a space, and we're going to place down our fence gates again. So we have 1 and 2 fence gates. We're going to open these again toward the front here, and actually make sure that the fence gates are lined up here. And we're going to open those toward the front again. Skeleton skulls coming off those fence gates. And we then want to go ahead and delete these 2 blocks. We're going to place down birchwood signs here. And then we're going to place down birchwood signs on the outside here of these walls like that. And that right there is pretty much all we have there for those little bombs or those little mounts there. Again, not 100% sure what kind of munitions it actually is, but they are there on the aircraft, so that is why we are including them. But yeah, that right there is pretty much it for that, and that will pretty much conclude everything we have here for this layer. Again, we'll take a top-down view. This is what we should have for the top-down view so far. And at this point in time, I will like to go ahead and cover a quick thing for Java players is we'll go ahead and now type in the command /give @p Minecraft :debug_stick. And we'll now go ahead and go to these pistons here, and we'll actually go ahead and right-click them with our debug stick. We'll first left-click and make sure you are set on selected extended true. Should be what pops up. And we can then right-click all these pistons and get rid of that wood portion. And what you'll see here is when we take a step back from the aircraft, you can see it really helps kind of with the shaping there as compared to a full block. And the same thing can be done for this piston up here on the front. We'll go ahead and right-click that as well. And we will also make sure to touch these two pistons back here and set them like that. One thing to keep in mind is if you do break a block or place a block next to those pistons, it will cause them to revert back and the wood will appear again. So make sure you try not to touch those pistons and kind of leave them alone, as you don't want anything acting up too much for the build. So again, just kind of keep that in mind, and with that, we're pretty much good to go. So that right there is going to conclude everything we have for layer number 3, and we'll move on to layer number 4. Alright guys, moving into our next layer here, we have layer number 4. For layer 4 to get started with here, we're going to place down a stone slab on top of the stone block up here in the front, followed by a piston. If you, again, do not have the ability to place the piston, you can go ahead and then place down a stone stair instead as an alternative. Going back from that block though, we're going to go ahead and place down one, and then it's going to go all the way back to 11 stone blocks, so 11 stone blocks in total here. We're going to go and then place down another piston. Again, this can be substituted for a stone stair. We're going to go and then place down a stone slab, a daylight detector turned to its night mode, so that can be done by right-clicking it to turn it to that bluish-gray color, and then an iron trap door. On our vertical stabilizer, we're going to place down a andesite wall, a coal ore block behind it, and another stone block after that. We're going to go and then work our way out to the sides here, 2 daylight detectors, set those to night mode, and then we're going to place down 4 here, again set to that night mode. We're going to go and then take our iron trap doors, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 here on top of that iron trap door like that, so that's what it should look like from the top-down view for your horizontal stabs. With that done, going back up to the front here, we're going to go ahead and place down a skeleton skull at a slight angle here on top of this wall. We're going to go back from that with a light gray stained glass pane, and then an andesite wall. On the side of this wall, we're going to place down an item frame. In that item frame, we want to place down a red bed, which is going to be facing vertical, and then a birchwood sign on the side of that wall like that, so it's going to look like that. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and then place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stone blocks, and then 1 and 2 stone stairs, stone slab, and a skeleton skull at a slight angle. So it's going to look just like that there to round out the back. After that is all done, we're going to go and then take our daylight detectors, and we're going to place down a daylight detector right here, turn that to night mode. And we then want to go ahead and grab a stone slab, and we're going to place down 1, 2, and 3 stone slabs, another daylight detector, and a iron trapdoor like that. We'll turn that daylight detector again to that night mode. We're going to go then place down a stone slab here, and then this right here again is like one of those sections that's going to depend on what version you're on. So you can either place down a row of 3 of stone stairs, so 1, 2, 3, or you can go ahead and place down a row of 3 of these pistons. So either one can work here, and then we're just going to place down a stone slab on the end. Our next section here is going to be a stone top slab that's going to come off that half slab there, and then again we can either place down a row 3 of upside down stairs or a row 3 of upside down pistons. So again, 2 options there for you, and then a stone top slab here on the very end. We're going to go and then take our stone top slabs, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4 like that across. Once we get to this point, we will go ahead and start to work on our engines. This is going to be done by placing down a stone block on top of this stair right here, and then we want to place down a light gray stained glass pane to both sides of that stone block. We're going to go ahead and then place down additional 2 more stone blocks back, and on the sides of those 2 stone blocks, we're going to place down 2 andesite walls on both sides. And we also want to go ahead and grab a polished andesite block, place it on top of this, or come off the side of that stone block forward, and then a skeleton skull like that for will basically be where our props connect up to. We're also going to go ahead and place down an item frame on the side of these glass panes. In that item frame, we're going to place down a black bed, turn it sideways so that the pillow is facing toward the rear of the aircraft. And we're going to go ahead and then place down a birchwood sign on the side there again for Java players. After that is all done there, we then want to go ahead and place down a stone block. That's going to go back from this one here. And we're going to go ahead and then place down a skeleton skull on both sides of it. And then lastly, just a polished black stone slab on top of that one like so. And we'll go ahead and also, at this point in time, for Java players, right-click that piston underneath there and go ahead and reset it like so. After that is all complete there, we're going to go ahead and then get into our pylons here for our loadouts here. And it's going to be pretty simple. We're going to go ahead and place down a light gray stainless pane here and then 2 andesite walls back from it for our first pylon. And then our next pylons are going to be kind of centered over the fence gate. So we're going to place down a wall here, second wall forward, light gray stainless pane. And same thing will be done over this loadout right here. We'll then take our iron trapdoors, and we're just going to fill this in a little bit by placing down 2 iron trapdoors here. Coming off the side there of those walls, make sure they're on the top portion and not on the lower portion like that. We're going to go then place down rows of 3 between our pylons here. So 1 and 2 rows of 3, filling those spaces in. And after we have that all done, we'll then take our stone top slabs, and we're going to place down our stone top slabs to the sides here. So we're going to place down 1, 2, come off those blocks, and then we're going to place down one more row. So you have basically 2 rows of 2 on the outside of the wings there, and actually it's going to be 1 more row. So it's going to be 2 rows of 3 or 3 rows of 2, however you want to look at it. And we do have this little instrument here, which I believe actually goes on both sides. So just want to make sure there. But yeah, this little instrument here is going to go on both sides, and it's just going to be an end rod and a chain coming off the very last slab. So end rod, chain going forward. And after you have that all done, we can go ahead and then go up to our pistons here for Java players. We'll right click these pistons here, as well as these ones in the wings, and also these ones right here. So it will look something like that there for your wing. And yeah, that right there is going to pretty much wrap up what we have there for layer number 4. And as you can see, your aircraft here is really starting to come together. But again, here's a top-down view of what it should look like from the top, from obviously the top-down view. It looks pretty good and is coming together. With that though, that's going to do it for this layer. Let's move on to layer number 5. Alright guys, moving into our next layer here, we have layer number 5. For layer 5 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a skeleton skull on top of this first stone block up here in the front, then an iron trapdoor, a daylight detector turned to night mode, a stone slab, 3 pistons, or instead of the pistons you can place down stone full blocks. After that, it's going to be a stone slab, a daylight detector again turned to night mode, and an iron trapdoor. To the sides here, we're going to place down an iron trapdoor coming off the side of this stone block, then 3 stone slabs back, a narrow iron trapdoor like so, and we can go ahead and then take our debug stick here for Java players and right click our pistons to go ahead and set them like so. Moving back to the vertical stabilizer, we also want to go ahead and place down a light gray stainless pane on top of this andesite wall, as well as 2 stone blocks back from it, and that's all we're going to do for our vertical stabilizer. The rest of this layer will be done or focusing on the wings, so let's go ahead and jump into it. We're going to start off by placing down a row of 1, 2, and 3 of daylight detectors here. We're going to turn those to night mode and then an iron trapdoor on the end there. After we have that done, we're going to go ahead and place down a row of 3 of pistons. So 1, 2, 3. Again, these can be substituted for stone stairs by placing down a row of stone stairs like that. But again, we'll be using the pistons here. We're going to go ahead and place down a row of 1, 2, 3 stone full blocks behind the pistons, and then another 3 stone or pistons on the other side there. We're also going to place down a piston here. Again, this could be substituted for a stone stair as well. So you could have a stone stair like that instead. But again, we'll be using the piston. And then to both sides of this block here, we're going to place down a stone slab. We then want to go ahead and go forward from this with a stone slab on top of this, or come off the side there of that stone full block. After that is all done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a row of 4 of stone slabs on the side here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go ahead and then place down a row of 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then a daylight detector turned to night mode on the very end there. Our next row is going to come off of this stone slab here, so the second one from the front. We're going to place down a slab behind that, and then another daylight detector there on the end. We then want to place down 2 rows of 3 of our daylight detectors. Again, we're going to turn these to our night mode. So again, we have our 2 rows of 3 there. Our next row is going to be 2 coming off the front, and then an iron trapdoor. And we're going to go ahead and again make sure we set those to that night mode. We then want to place down a daylight detector coming off this one here. So the second one, turn that to night mode, and then an iron trapdoor right there. After we have that done, we're going to then place down 3 iron trapdoors to the side. 1, 2, 3. Followed by a stone slab and a second slab back from that. And we're going to go ahead and then go up from those slabs into a top slab. So we have 2 top slabs like this, and then we're going to place down 1 top slab that goes back for the tips there of the wing. At this point in time, we'll go ahead and then take our debug stick, and we're just going to go ahead and right click our pistons like here just to go ahead and get them all set. And that right there is pretty much the shape there for the wings. And that's really all you need to do. Pretty straightforward stuff, nothing too crazy. At this point in time though, we can also go ahead and throw on the blades for the propellers. And these are a kind of a weird blade here, being a 5 bladed rotor or propeller, but it's going to be pretty easy. It's just going to be 2 walls that go up, then a top slab to the side, followed by a half slab that goes up at an angle there, and then going down, we're going to place down a wall to the side, and then 1 wall down. Same thing over here, and like that. And that's really all you're going to do for the propellers. It's pretty simple. They obviously don't look the greatest, but really, unfortunately, just due to it being a 5 blade, it's very difficult to get a perfect design for that. So this is kind of just like the best design we have there, and you'll be translating this same design to both sides here for the aircraft. And you can also flip it if you want to have the, you know, 1 line going straight down. You can. The only problem is you do have this little design there for the intake, so that would get in the way, but most likely you're going to want to position the blades like that on both sides just to make it a little bit easier for you. But anyways, that is going to conclude what we have there for layer 5, and with that we're going to move into our final layers of our build, which are going to be pretty much solely focusing in on the vertical stabilizer. So with that, let's move into our last final layers. Alright guys, moving into our last final layers here, we have layers basically 6, 7, 8, and 9. So really we're just going to be going ahead and throwing everything onto the top of the vertical stabilizer. But let's get started. First thing we're doing is we're going to place down a stone block on top of this one here, then a second stone block, and then a light gray stainless paint back from that. On top of that first stone block, we're going to place down an andesite wall up, a stone block behind that, and then a light gray stainless paint. On top of the stone wall, we're going to place down a light gray stainless paint, a stone block behind it, and another light gray stainless paint on the other side. Then going up from this stone block, we're going to place down another stone block up, and a light gray stainless paint on the trailing edge side like that. Coming off this stone block on the top here, we're going to place down 2 end rods going forward. On this glass pane here, we're going to place down a birchwood sign on both sides, followed by an item frame on the front side with a black concrete block in the item frame. Again, for Java players, we'll go ahead and add the addition of a birchwood sign on the side of the glass pane, as we were able to place down that item frame and sign on the same block space. With that all complete, pretty much the last thing we have to cover here is going to be these banners. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the necessary materials here for the banners, and I'll show you guys how to make them. Alright guys, so when it comes to making these banners here, it's pretty simple. We're going to start with our first banner because it's the easiest, but for this we're going to need a black banner, 6 light gray dye, 2 red dye, 1 white dye, 1 red banner to make these banners. We're going to start off with a loom, and we're going to go ahead and go into our loom for black banner and our light gray dye. We're going to go ahead and first start off by going ahead and selecting that border that's going to go all the way around the banner like so. That'll be our first one. And then we're going to go then just do a line across the top and a line across the bottom for light gray dye, and that is literally it for this first banner. Real simple, and it's just going to go ahead and go on the side of the stone block to both sides. So we knocked out that first banner, and it looks something like that here. However, we do actually want to change. We don't want a red banner, we actually want a white banner. So we're going to have a white banner, 2 red dye, and 2 light gray dye. We're going to go ahead and go into our loom here again. We're going to place our white banner in our red dye. We're going to go ahead and do this brick pattern, so it's going to look something that looks like this. We'll grab the brick pattern, put it back into our loom with our red dye, and we're going to go ahead and then select this kind of jagged type pattern. So it's going to look something that kind of looks like that there. We're going to go ahead and grab our loom, place our banner, place it back into our loom along with our light gray dye, and we want to go ahead and very simply just go ahead and do the line across the top for light gray and the line across the bottom. And it's going to create this little logo that looks something like that. And this right here will go on the side of this wall, so just like that. So pretty simple stuff there, and that's really all you need to do to make those banners like that on both sides. And once you have those banners done and put on both sides of the aircraft, you're pretty much done and good to go with this. This banner actually could be shifted back now that I'm kind of looking at a picture here, and we're actually going to go ahead and shift it to right there. I think that actually looks a little bit more accurate to the picture I have here to the side of me. But anyways, that right there is going to conclude what we have there for layers 6 through 10, or 6 through 9 rather. And with that, that's it for the in-flight version, and we're going to go ahead and now move our attention here to the landed version. So if you do want to add the landing gear onto the aircraft, you'll be able to add that. But yeah, with that, let's move on to the landed version of the Akıncı. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into the landing gear is pretty simple and straightforward to do. We're going to be going ahead and start with our front gear. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and drop down to this front section here. We're going to go ahead and go back to the 3rd stone top slab here. We're going to delete that top slab and then the following 2 iron trap doors. We'll then delete these 2 stone full blocks up here on the inside, like so. In its place, we're going to place down two smooth quartz slabs like that, and then we're going to go ahead and place down an andesite wall right here. We're going to drop down another andesite wall, and then a stone brick upside down stair, a tripwire hook coming off the front of the stair, and then a block of coal on the bottom of that stair like so. On both sides of this block of coal, we do have this banner design. It's a light gray banner, a black border, and a black line horizontally through the center. I will not be showing you guys how to make it in a loom because it's really simple to do, but it will be basically placed on both sides of that black concrete block. A substitute, you can again place down a stone button or an item frame with a light gray stainless pane will work also. After we have that done there, we're going to go ahead and then go to the right side and the right side only, and we're going to go ahead and place down a basically our landing gear doors. For this, we'll go ahead and grab some stone stairs here, and we're going to just go ahead and basically place down a stone upside down stair here, one here, and then we're going to delete the iron trapdoor and another stair like that. And that's going to form our landing gear there for the front nose. Our rear landing gear is going to be going ahead and going back to this spot here. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and basically go to where this slab is. We're going to go ahead and delete that slab, and in its place down an andesite wall. We're going to drop down from that wall diagonal with a birchwood fence post, and then a block of coal like so. Coming off the block of coal, we're going to go ahead and then place down an item frame like this. That same item frame we used for the front wheels, and same thing there. And that right there is going to basically make your landing gear. And you'll just go ahead and basically take the same design for this wheel and flip it over to the other side, and you have your landing gear here complete for the Baykar Bayraktar Akıncı, basically unmanned aerial drone. Anyways, I hope you guys do enjoy this build and are able to put it to good use. If you do end up using this design, I do ask that you guys give me proper credit for it. This may be anything from a side of the build, link to my channel, or this video if this does appear on social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for your free user for whatever projects you guys are working on. Overall, enjoy the build, have fun with it, and all that fun stuff. Again, a big special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible. And as always, feel free to check my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions. With that, though, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been your 204, and I'll see you guys next time.